Welcome to our channel. So today we're going to stake these up on these rebars. I like these, or cane. River cane works really well. But these last longer, of course. But yeah, we're going to tie these up. They need it bad. So this is the country way of doing this. This is what I was taught when I was a kid, and I've tried other stuff. This works the best. You just find the bottom of the shirt, go to the collar, and then you cut these stripes out of it. You stretch them, you get the length. Now you have 2 tomato ties. And as long as you don't tie it too tight, you can get these back off and reuse them. Find your central portion of the plant. Good Lord. We got a lot going on here. Well, first off, that's a sucker. That was in my way. Now it's not. Now I can tie that up. Take your tie, find a branch, go between those 2 branches. And that branch will hold it on the rebar. The cool thing about rebar is it's rough, and it'll hold on to your ties. That's the only problem with river cane. You got to tie everything really tight with river cane because your ties will slide down and allow that plant to, well, almost fall back down. So when it comes to suckers, and this is extremely important, because if you get greedy and you cut all your suckers off, you're not going to be impressed with your yields. Suckers are kind of where you get a lot of your yield from. So look here. This is the main leader. And on the main leader, these 2. This is all the tomatoes on this plant that come from the main leader. And this cluster. That's it. Everything else you see is related to a sucker. So if we look, all right, here's a sucker and here's the cluster. See that? Here's a sucker. No, actually, never mind. This is on the main leader too. Mainly though, the point is, each one of your suckers acts as a main leader of its own. And you get a lot more yield if you pick 2 or 3 of those suckers or more, if you're like me and you like a mess, to get your fruit from. So we got our tie, all right, on the central leader of the plant, right? These things want to be a vine. That shirt, it doesn't abrade, and because of the texture, we don't get any sliding. Now, most importantly, what I want everybody to look at this is a sucker. All right, you got your central vine, but look at this sucker. It weighs a lot. It's very heavy. And because we've neglected getting everything tied up, it's orienting in the wrong direction. So I'll have to twist that up and tie it right there. Another pretty big problem, probably our biggest problem that we've had, is water retention when it comes to raised beds, right? So in the ground, you plant in a raised in-ground bed so that it drains better, right? So what if your entire thing is a giant raised bed, right? So these dry out pretty quick, and you got to take a couple steps to mitigate water loss. And we have had a lot of problems in the past. So what I do with tomatoes, which I treat just like a fruit tree, as you can see, I literally make a circular mound around them that cups and holds water because I don't like wasting electricity either. You can take any mulching thing you've got, but this is wheat straw because we grew our first plot of wheat this year, and it actually makes a really nice straw for mulching. You get this in there, and what this will do is it'll, 1, cool the soil down, which will increase growth, and 2, keeps the water in that soil. You just go around the base of the plant like that. I go out 8, 9, 10 inches. Now the temperature of the soil is lower, and your water retention is a lot better. You don't lose as much to wicking and evaporation. So we're here a day later, and you can actually notice a bit of a difference between the way these plants are reacting to the 90-something degree days that we're having right now. We have a heat wave for this time of year. It doesn't get this warm usually, but look. You've got a curling of the leaves on top of this plant. These are the same tomato. And then you look over at that sucker curling. This plant's curling a little. That plant's curling. But then look at this one. Normal droop. Nothing weird. And that's because the soil around this plant didn't get hot. So, if you like what we've talked about, you find it interesting, please consider liking and subscribing. And then lastly, if anybody has any cool stuff that we missed or would benefit from, throw that in the comments, because I don't know everything. I just know enough to make it work.